What's up, everybody? Truth Seeker here. Evidence has emerged from NASA that recent outbursts of extreme hurricanes in the U.S. are as a result of man-made weather manipulation. Patrick Roddie, a geoengineering expert, discovered newly released NASA worldwide satellite images that showed weird anomalies around Hurricane Harvey and Irma and the paths they are about to follow. His findings match allegations made by other scientists who claim that HAARP is responsible for the recent spate of hurricanes around the world. Yesterday, we published an article in which world-renowned physicist Dr. Michio Kaku claimed that the man-made hurricanes are the result of a government weather modification program in which the skies are sprayed with nanoparticles and storms then activated through the use of lasers. Now that video actually got a lot of debate because a lot of people said that he didn't say the words HAARP and everything else. And you're only allowed to actually say a certain amount of things on television. You got to understand that when you're talking about the mainstream. That video is actually from, I believe, 2013. What it's basically proving, though, is that we have the capabilities of doing this stuff, and the excitement on his face just shows that they've been doing it for a long time. Now, everyone was also contradicting that HAARP has nothing to do with lasers when he was talking about that. And those were two separate subjects that he was talking about. When he was talking about Vietnam and everything else, that was HAARP, is what he was talking about. The lasers is a whole new different thing. And a lot of these phenomena have been starting to get seen. I'll show you some feeds from an ISS film real quick. This is the ISS space station that's just orbiting around the Earth actually captured some of these. As you can see, these are some high-powered lasers that are actually just shooting at the sky from Earth itself. And I'm sure Project Bluebeam has the exact same kind of laser capability from the satellites. So satellite to ground, it could also do the exact same thing. But this is what Michio Kaku was actually talking about, was these things.
This discussion, though. But it is fascinating. I mean, lasers, really? To change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
Lines of sprayed aerosols and wispy, feathery features easily recognizable as geoengineering materials are spotted around the recent hurricanes. The anomalous nature of Hurricane Harvey and Irma, and possibly the new Hurricane Jose and Katia, should prompt people to investigate whether or not geoengineering played a role in this. Now, I also showed a video that was about the whole cloud seeding bid, how they do this. And I'm going to play just a bit of that video here real quick.
Cloud seeding has been used around the world for decades, but it's now getting a closer look as farmers desperate for solutions endure their fourth month of record-shattering drought with no end in sight. It's actually the largest drought in half a century, responsible for rising food prices and record wildfires. It's even suspected to be a cause for the recent surge in cases of West Nile virus. So we came to South Texas to find out if cloud seeding can really maximize our most precious resource, or if it's just a romantic notion that doesn't hold water.
We can't manufacture a cloud. That is just absolute basic. We cannot make it rain if it was not going to rain to begin with.
Au contraire, we can actually make clouds. Check this out.
Don't worry if you can't hear what I'm saying. I couldn't even hear myself. This is the loudest sound you could possibly conceive. And, as it turns out, the cleanest. Now, the most amazing thing is that that cloud up there, which was generated by the engine, is just a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. It's water vapor. And in about an hour's time, someone in Mississippi is going to get wet washing. It will actually rain. I told you! It's raining! That's unbelievable! Oh. NASA's playing God. It's making its own weather.
Up in the air, we get a bird's eye view of Butch's delicate dance.
He's just working the very edge of it.
And then Butch finds the cloud sweet spot.
Okay, he's fixing to light a flare. Okay.
Oh, I see the flare.
Yeah.
It looks like he's painting the sky.
The flares are shooting millions of silver iodide and calcium chloride particles into the cloud, where they collide with drops of water and ice and produce even more moisture. Then, usually within 20 minutes...
So what is this white smoky stuff over here?
That's rain.
Oh, that's rain.
Yeah, that's rain. All this is rain out here. Turn 7 on November, turn left base. If you go out and you seed for a few hours or all day long and really know you did some good, it's a good feeling.
The radar data collected today adds to a growing body of evidence that cloud seeding works. It can double the amount of moisture in a given cloud, and the Texas programs boast a 12% increase in annual rainfall, thanks to seeding. And long-term studies show those chemicals are environmentally safe and can't even be detected in the rainfall. But despite all the data, some of cloud seeding's biggest critics are surprisingly the very farmers who stand to benefit most.
This isn't the first drought we've been through, and it won't be the last.
Bill Slumchinsky's family has been farming this land for 5 generations. He and his son Brett tell us it's expensive to irrigate 300 acres of crops. All that watering cuts deeply into profits, but they are skeptical that anything short of divine intervention can actually make more rain.
What do you make of the cloud seeding program?
Well, when you've been in a drought since '96 and we've had one wet year, is it working?
We can't stop droughts, we can't break droughts. We just try and put a little more water on the ground.
And every drop of water, Craig explains, helps feed the underground aquifer used to irrigate crops. So though he can't promise Bill and Brett more rainy days, he's convinced cloud seeding is helping them in the long run. The local water districts that manage the aquifers believes it's working too. They pay 4 cents an acre to keep Craig and his team up and running.
But we want people to understand we're not making promises we can't keep, and we're not making claims that we do not do.
Tommy Shearer brushes off critics who say he's playing God. His ideas may be bold, but he says he never loses sight of who's really in charge.
You're not going to beat Mother Nature. Let's just understand that right off. We work with Mother Nature. We try to help Mother Nature. Pick your battles. I wouldn't even fight my own mother.
For Nightline, I'm Juju Chang.
There's a lot of rain going on out there.
Over Pleasanton, Texas.
So in conclusion, they can create clouds. And that was just a machine doing it. But if they targeted it like, say, an ocean or something, they can actually fast evaporate it.
Yep, there's another way water can get into the air. The water on the doghouse roof dried pretty fast in the warm sun. This water disappears faster because the stove is hotter. The cloud from the spout of the tea kettle is condensation of the water vapor from the tea kettle hitting the colder air. The hot water in the kettle gives off water vapor to the air by rapid evaporation, just as rivers, lakes, and ponds give off water vapor to the air by slow evaporation. The hot water in the kettle gives off water vapor to the air by rapid evaporation, just as rivers, lakes, and ponds give off water vapor to the air by slow evaporation. The hot water in the kettle gives off water vapor to the air by rapid evaporation, just as rivers, lakes, and ponds give off water vapor to the air by slow evaporation.
And fast evaporation is actually one of the biggest tools used to create these kind of storms and stuff, because this could create massive cloud generation over a day's period of time and actually have a giant storm by the next morning. So in conclusion, we are able to create clouds. We are able to turn the clouds into actual storms. And we are also able to amplify and destroy things with this kind of technology. It's a scary world we live in. But it makes you wonder where your billions and billions of tax dollars go, doesn't it? This is the stuff that you don't know about. This is that black hole that all that money is going into. This is what they've been funding for a long time. And this is something that the whole world needs to know about. So definitely please share this video around. Get this out there. And also, I recommend you guys to check out this guy's channel called Weather War 101. I've seen a few people actually commenting his channel in my comments, and they, been trying to point me to his videos and stuff like that. And he actually does some really good detail on this stuff. I give him mad kudos. So everybody, check out his channel. Check out the videos that he's done. And thanks for watching, everybody.
This summer?
This summer.
You succeeded in increasing rainfall?
South of San Antonio, we had aircraft flying on a dozen days in the month of July, treating what we deemed to be seedable storms.
And what was the result of that?
The same result that we've seen since it started in 1997. Some clouds respond very well. Some clouds respond only to a limited degree. Maybe one or two instances when clouds didn't respond as we had hoped, probably because we got to them too late.
And when you say they responded very well, what does that mean?
It means that the storm lived longer and produced more rain over a larger area.
And how do we know that it did that? I mean, what if you hadn't seeded? I mean,
good question. We know that because we systematically analyze on a given day clouds that are seeded, and we compare their behavior with similar clouds in areas adjacent to the target area that were not seeded. And we compare the behavior of the two sets, the treated and the unseeded. And we've been doing that for about 10 years now. And we have seen a very consistent response from storms that were seeded in a timely fashion.
Okay, all right. And talk to me for just a minute about what seeding is. What do you guys do up there?
Seeding involves the release of a material that includes silver iodide, whose crystalline structure is almost identical to natural ice. In a typical cumulus cloud in the summertime in Texas, there are a limited number of natural ice crystals in a growing storm. And seeding is designed to increase the number of nuclei. These are tiny specks around which cloud water coalesces to form a raindrop. When you introduce silver iodide crystals into a thunderstorm, a young thunderstorm, that may only live 20 or 25 minutes and produce maybe a quarter of an inch. If you introduce those ice crystals early enough in the life of that cloud, more of the cloud water will be converted into tiny snowflakes, which will then attract more cloud water to form raindrops. Seeding is designed to nudge the cloud along, giving it the ammunition it needs, to make more use of the cloud water that's there.
We also now officially opened up our online web store. You can now get Seeking the Truth, t-shirts, coffee mugs, and other accessories. This will definitely make a great gift idea, and every purchase will help out this channel. The link is in the description below. Please subscribe to our channel, like our video, and comment below, and we'll see you on the flip side. Peace! And don't forget to click the notification bell